Hey, what's going on, guys? As most of you guys know, I'm traveling to Iceland later this week, and I've been getting a lot of questions about what type of cameras and lenses and sound equipment and videography stuff I'm taking along to capture everything. So I figured it'd be a lot easier for me to make a video just kind of showing everything that I'm gonna pack up. So let's get to it. So to start off, I shoot all of my photography on a Nikon D750. This is just a phenomenal camera. I mainly shoot landscape photography, and as far as depth of field and just everything that you can get out of this camera, it's just amazing. I wanted something full frame that wouldn't completely break the bank. I was moving away from the Sony a6000, which is what I'm actually recording this video on. And the Sony a6000 was my entry to photography, so I wanted something a little bit more professional, something that would give me better quality all the way around, so I bought the Nikon D750. Brand new, this camera typically runs about $1,600. And I want to say that I had paid $2,100 at the time for it. I will be doing all of my vlogging on a Sony a6000, and I will have an external mic hooked up to that. And moving on to all of the lenses that I shoot with, I've got 3 lenses that cover all of my focal lengths that I could ever possibly need, pretty much. First off, I shoot with an 18 to 35 millimeter wide-angle lens. I know that there is a 16 to 35 millimeter version of this, and it's a little bit pricier. I probably saved a good $200 or $300, if not more, by purchasing this 18 to 35. You ought to save yourself a lot of money and just grab this 18 to 35 millimeter. This thing is amazing. It has accomplished so much for me, and the quality is amazing. So I shoot all of my wide angle shots with this 18 to 35 millimeter. So in between my lenses, I have a Nikon 50 millimeter lens. It's got down to a 1.8 for the aperture, just super wide. This thing is awesome. Just the bokeh that this thing can create. I just love having a 50 millimeter. Why wouldn't you own a 50 millimeter lens? And lastly, as far as my lenses, I can honestly say that this was my favorite purchase of the year. This is a Tamron 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 lens, and this thing, just everything you can accomplish with this lens is absolutely amazing. So sometimes when I don't want to go super wide on a landscape and I have a nice mountain horizon, and I really want to zoom in on a particular part that I like a lot more to capture in frame, I always put this lens on. Having a 70 to 200 millimeter lens in your bag should be just essential. It's gotta be there. So one of my most recent purchases was this DJI Mavic Air. I have been thinking about getting a drone for probably a good 2 years, and I could not pin down something that I wanted. I knew that if I went to Iceland and I didn't capture some aerial shots while I was there, I would regret it probably for the rest of my life. So I went ahead and I bought this DJI Mavic Air. It's got 4K recording capabilities, 24 frames per second up to 60. I only have about 3 hours of flight time with this thing so far. I'm gonna do my best to just capture really good footage with this thing, but I'm still having to learn, sadly. As soon as I bought the drone, I also purchased these ND filters. It's a neutral density filter. So essentially these ND filters are just like putting on sunglasses when it's really bright outside, right? The whole point of these neutral density filters is to lower that light sensitivity, to make everything darker, and so that way you can still be able to go out in the middle of the day and shoot some amazing shots. So when you want to put on these ND filters, you're going to have to remove the ring that's on your gimbal and simply just screw on these filters over the lens. A lot of people kept thinking that that ring was a UV filter. It's not, it's just a ring that's going over the gimbal. Just simply take it off, put on the ND filter, and you're good to go. So these NDs are also polarized, and they're circular polarizers, so when you put them on, all you have to do is spin the ring according to where the sun is, and you've got a polarized neutral density filter. So I purchased my first polarizer filter. This one is made by B&W. It's their MRC Nano. circular polarizer, 77mm, so it'll fit on my wide-angle lens and my 70 to 200mm lens. So as far as the camera bag, I have a Low Pro. This thing is just awesome. It's a good pack. It's got more than enough room for all of my lenses, my camera, and my vlogging camera, and just anything else that I could stuff in this thing. It's got room for it. I'm also bringing my Osprey pack. This thing is completely worth the purchase. There's just, it's the perfect pack, and it's perfect for me. And for the drone, I have a case that everything fits in perfectly. It's got all the slots where the controller, the drone, and any type of accessories, the batteries, it's just perfect. The tripod I'll be bringing along is the Manfrotto Be Free Advanced series. So I've got other things that I'm bringing along that I'm not going to show in this video. You know, I've got headlamps that I'm bringing along for nighttime photography in case the aurora lights come out. I've got a lot of car chargers for the drones, for my cameras, just all types of external chargers. I've got a lot of stuff I'm bringing along, and hopefully I can get it all packed up nice and tight to get everything on the plane. So I'm really looking forward to Iceland. If you guys have any questions for me, you can comment below, shoot me a message. I'll see you guys later.